You won't believe how one single moment, just one paw voice, one act of kindness, can turn an entire life upside down. Imagine being invisible to the world, begging for scraps, shivering in the cold, and suddenly a man in a luxury car holding a baby rolls down his window and says something that would change everything forever. This is not just a story about poverty and wealth. It's a story about humanity, about broken hearts finding healing, and about how love can appear in the most unexpected places. Here she was sitting on the side of a crowded street, knees pulled tightly against her chest, torn clothes barely covering her trembling body. People passed by in expensive shoes and polished suits, their eyes sliding over her as though she was nothing more than a shadow on the sidewalk. Her name was Amina, though nobody asked. To the world, she was simply that homeless girl. Life had not been kind. Just 2 years earlier she had been a cheerful college student dreaming of becoming a teacher. But after losing both her parents in a tragic accident and being betrayed by relatives who sold her small family home for money, she found herself with nothing. Friends who once laughed with her now avoided her, not wanting the burden of her misery. The girl who once held books in her hands now clutched only the thin blanket she had found in a dumpster. That night was colder than usual. She whispered to herself for courage, just one meal, just one helping hand. But the city was merciless. Vendors shouted, couples walked hand in hand, and no one noticed her hollow eyes. Every rejection cut deeper than hunger. And then it happened. A black car, sleek and shiny, pulled over. The window rolled down slowly and Amina almost shrank back, expecting harsh words or mockery. But instead she heard the soft cooing of a baby. Inside the car sat a man, young, well-dressed but with sadness in his eyes. Cradled in his arms was a baby girl wrapped warmly in pink. The man looked at Amina for a long moment, not with disgust but with recognition. "Are you cold?" he asked gently. Amina blinked, too shocked to reply. No one had asked her a question in months. People usually barked orders like "move aside" or "don't beg here." But this man's voice was different, soft, human. "Yes, but I'm used to it," she whispered, ashamed. The man sighed, looking down at his baby, then back at her. "Do you know what my daughter just reminded me?" he said quietly. "That kindness, it's the only inheritance worth leaving behind." He stepped out of the car, causing people around to stare. Millionaires didn't usually stop for girls on sidewalks. He wrapped a scarf around Amina's shoulders, the warmth almost shocking her. But it wasn't the scarf that brought tears to her eyes. It was the way he looked at her, as if she mattered. "My name is Zion," he said, shifting his baby into one arm so he could extend his hand. "I know what it's like to lose everything." Amina hesitated, then slowly reached out. Her hand trembled and Zion told her his story. He had once been poor too, an orphan who grew up on the streets. Through sheer determination he built businesses, but success had not erased his scars. His wife had passed away recently, leaving him to raise his baby girl alone. He admitted that despite all the wealth he often felt empty. "Maybe," he said with a sad smile, "we're both searching for something that money can't buy." For the first time in years Amina's heart stirred with hope. Over the weeks that followed, Zion did something unthinkable to outsiders. He offered Amina a chance, not charity but dignity. He gave her a job in his company, starting small as an assistant. He arranged for her to stay in a safe place, helped her buy proper clothes, and most importantly, he reminded her every day that she was capable of more than just surviving. The journey wasn't easy. Amina struggled with self-doubt. She was clumsy at first, terrified of making mistakes. Gossip spread in the office, whispers that she was just a pity project. But every time she faltered, Zion reminded her of his words. "Kindness is the only inheritance worth leaving." Slowly her confidence grew. She began attending evening classes, reigniting her dream of teaching. Zion encouraged her, often leaving his baby with her, trusting her as if she were family. The baby's innocent laughter healed wounds in Amina's heart she thought would never close. One evening as the sun dipped below the skyline, Amina walked past the same street corner where she had once sat shivering. She paused, tears welling in her eyes. She was no longer invisible. She was no longer that homeless girl. She was a woman with purpose, with dignity, and with people who cared. And then it struck her, the exact moment her life had changed. It wasn't the job, the money, or even the warm scarf. It was the simple act of being seen. By the end of her journey, Amina not only became a teacher but also started a small charity for street children, inspired by the words Zion had spoken that night. She would often tell her students, sometimes one voice is all it takes. One voice to remind you matter. And the viewers, watching her story unfold, are left with a question echoing in their hearts. What if you are that one voice for someone else? Because in the end, it wasn't just a millionaire who saved her. It was kindness. And kindness is something every single one of us can give.